Last week, we started all of this in Macau. We went to Shanghai, then to Las Vegas. Now, here we are in Los Angeles. The more time I spent on this tour, the more I realize what an intriguing battle this is. Manny Pacquiao and the new champion of the junior welterweight division, Chris Algieri.
Brandon Rios made Pacquiao look lightning fast. And then when he fought Tim, you know, Manny looked fast, but not as fast. Now, but Tim's not necessarily known as a fast guy. I am.
You know, any fighter has a chance to fight with me. Right now, we have to focus on the upcoming fight.
Well, Algieri's the guy that lives in his parents' basement. His last fight was boxing to pay off some of his school loans. He doesn't fit the mold of the traditional boxer. He is not cut out of central casting. He's cut out of something else. But he is an excellent boxer, and because of that, he's capable of beating anybody in this division.
Even though he doesn't look it, Chris loves to hurt people.
Algieri is an extremely confident guy and never let Provodnikov beat that out of him.
I am hungry, I'm young, I'm undefeated, and I'm super confident.
And no! What happened in the Barclays Center was what it was, and here we are with a matchup that I don't think is all that easy for Manny Pacquiao.
I believe that Chris was born to be here and born to do this. He's 5'11" and 140.
Just because he's taller, it doesn't make him better. When you have a reach advantage, how hard is that to take away? If you've been in boxing as long as me and Manny, that's not so difficult. We're faster, we know angles better. We're gonna take him to school.
He's still winning the same way, with dynamic, speed, power punching, tremendous skill. And I think that makes him very difficult for almost anyone to fight.
It's about my name in the top of boxing. It's about giving honor to my country. So to do that, I have to prepare and work hard.
I know I can beat Manny Pacquiao because of my competitive advantage.
I keep hearing he has a master's degree, that's not gonna help him. He's gonna be a doctor, that's not gonna help him. And he's a cocky kid, he talks a good game, let's see if he can fight.
Huntington is a small town on the North Shore of Long Island. It's beautiful in the summer here. We've got a bustling town not 10 minutes away, and it's a Long Island suburb. This is all I knew growing up. My father grew up in Huntington. My mother moved from Argentina right to Huntington. That's where they met. They bought a plot of land and built a house, and that's where we live.
Rocco, hey. Spinach, broccoli, blueberry, whey protein powder, a little bit of creatine, almond milk, coconut water, mango flavored. Drink something like that just about every day.
We got mom and dad on one side. We got my brother, his wife, and 3 boys on the other. I got my own bachelor pad in the basement. I'm a pretty simple guy. Really don't need too much. I really fell kind of into philosophical reading and thinking in college. It's something that I kind of do as a hobby on the side. And then my nutrition stuff is from my master's degree. Those are a lot of my school books I had to read, and just staying up with diets and health and nutrition. It's something that's an ever-changing, field. So you got to stay on top of it. You got to do a lot of reading. Got my grandfather, Carlos, started my love for boxing at a very young age. He would always talk about guys like Carlos Monzon and Alexis Arguello. Those are 2 guys that I distinctly remember their names growing up. My brother was a good athlete, baseball player, swimmer. I tried to play the sports that he played, just wasn't as good at them as he was. Hated team sports. And I got into martial arts. We went to see a kickboxing match, and I saw that, and I was like, wow, I can combine the boxing that I've been watching with my grandfather for so many years, and I can kick people like in karate. Turned pro at 19, had 20 pro kickboxing fights. This is actually one of my that was my first amateur kickboxing title. I won that when I was 17. These are old VHS tapes of boxing matches. And I got a whole wall
of these fights. Some of my old fights. Arturo Gatti was one of my favorite guys. Watched a lot of his fights. I got this double M bag. This thing is great. You know, I'll be down here in between days when I'm not with my coach and work on my technique and, you know. When I won my second world title kickboxing, I had broken my elbow in the fight blocking a kick. I had injured my knee throwing a kick. And I'm sitting there in an arm brace and a knee brace. I was a world champion and the money was not there. Wasn't getting paid. So as a kickboxer, I started sparring with more boxers just to get more work and sparring with them often. And coaches kept remarking that I looked like I had boxing in me. You look like, you look more like a boxer. You look like you had some boxing in you. So that was in my mind, and I asked my coach about it, and he was like, other kickboxers have tried that. It's not really, it's a tough transition. I did everything I wanted to do in kickboxing. There's nothing more for me to do. I got these injuries. I'm not getting paid. Let's give it a whirl. 6 months later, I had my pro debut. Kind of a regular guy, you know. I've been doing this on my own for a long time, and I like it that way. I'm not one of those guys who has a big entourage around. I'm me, you know. What you see is what you get, and I'm a hard worker. I put it in the gym. On fight night, I fight. At the end of the day, man, this is a very lonely sport.
If you know Chris, his true passion and love was boxing. Chris has been brought up in Long Island, nice home, good family. What does that mean? Why does that mean you can't be a tough kid and a good fighter? Even in the MMA scene, Long Island has now blown up in the UFC. We have 5 guys from this one small gym in the UFC. There's another gym on Long Island that has 4 guys in the UFC, and one of them is the middleweight UFC champion. You don't have to come from the streets. It all comes from hard work, dedication, and just basically working your ass off. From day one, when we switched over from kickboxing to boxing, Tim Lehman and myself said he will become a world champion. And we went through tons of different people, managers, promoters, because nobody really wanted to give Chris that real shot because he didn't have that amateur background. Nobody really was taking him seriously. Even when we would go to spar at different gyms, you're a kickboxer, what? In the beginning, okay, people would line up, yeah, I'll spar him, I'll spar him, I'll spar him. And then by the second round, everyone's like, whoa.
He's been going to the gyms out in Vegas, out in Oxnard, and when he comes back, and we start to hear from respected trainers, Roberto Garcia, when we start to hear from respected fighters, Brandon Rios, Marcos Maidana, people are starting to talk about it. Fighters, respected people are talking about the fact that Chris Algieri can really fight. We put him on in shows in Long Island, right in his hometown, in Huntington. Sold out every single show.
It's an old school way of a fighter coming up through the ranks. You start as a local guy, a local prospect, and you go into sensation status, and then you get an opportunity. And either you step up to the plate and you crack it out of the park, or you go back down and try again. I've been lucky in the sense that I've been able to make the most of all my opportunities.
I knew he had determination. I knew he had some skills, but I also knew he didn't have an amateur background, and it would be a process to develop him in the pros. And frankly, he's been amazing in the way he's been able to absorb and learn.